Alright guys, today we have some pretty interesting and funny news. Apparently a bunch of classified documents were leaked from the US military, and the reason everyone is talking about them is they were leaked onto Discord. And not only that, but the name of this Discord was Thugshaker General, which is just something else. So the best article about this I was able to find, really early on anyway, is from Bellingcat.com, and they put up a pretty interesting piece written by Eric Toller, so shout out to him, and to them more broadly for this article. In it, he describes how they managed to find that some data leaks go back as early as January of 2023, and seem to indicate that some people from the US military have been leaking documents to share with each other over Discord. They were not able to totally confirm every part of these claims, but they did get some pretty interesting evidence as far as a paper trail. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's take a step back. Our story begins with Jack Teixeira. He's a 21-year-old kid who grew up in the suburbs of Providence, Rhode Island, who graduated from high school in Massachusetts. From there, he joined the Air National Guard in September of 2019, which is the reserve military for the US Air Force. Now, supposedly while in high school, this kid was very interested in the military and guns overall, and was pretty quiet. He kept to himself. The media right now is painting this kid as like a weirdo and some kind of like evil secret racist because supposedly he posted some racist memes on Discord or something. They're trying to like paint it like he's like a school shooter type. Now, I don't really see it. Keep in mind, I don't know this guy, but from what I've read, I knew kids like this in high school, and he seems relatively innocent. He was just a high school military LARPer who decided to quit LARPing and actually join the military. Two of his classmates told the Boston Globe that Teixeira revered the military and showed an early interest in joining. He was especially focused on the history of war and weapons. From a young age, I remember he would have a book on, I believe, US military aircrafts, armaments, like a really big textbook. John Powell told the Globe. Though Powell remembered Teixeira being bullied in middle school, he told the newspaper that the young man was an optimist and a sweetheart, with an especially close relationship with his stepdad, an Air Force veteran. His high school classmate, Kaylana Reyes, told the newspaper Teixeira was quiet and gave off loner vibes, while another classmate, Sarah Arnold, told AP she remembered him as being quiet and keeping to himself. Now, it seems that while he was initially a big fan of the US military, after some time he actually regretted joining and felt disillusioned with it as a whole. That being said, it's unclear if the leak of these documents was kind of a move to cause civil unrest, or actually hurt the United States, or if he was just being careless and dumb over Discord. I think this is a meaningful distinction to be pointed out. He apparently did believe that the federal government had become too powerful, however, and this led to some level of disregard for classified documents, in this case documents labeled top secret according to a few sources. Now, at some point he was promoted to Airman First Class, and while this is a very low rank, it did afford him roles in technology related scenarios, basically keeping up computer networks and keeping them running. These networks do in fact contain secret military documents about operations and plans that the military would not want out there in the general public, much less in the hands of their enemies. And at this point he began stealing these documents and showing them to people he played games and shared memes with on Discord. Some people show off their anime collection, their manga collection. E-girls notoriously like to show off their plushies and some people post great threads on 4chan, and some people leak top secret military documents for bragging rights. According to some, Jack is the latter out of the list, and a lot of these documents pertain to the conflict in Ukraine. The content of these shared documents range widely, with some topics including maps of hotspots in Ukraine such as Bakhmut and Kharkiv, a delivery timetable for Western munitions in Ukraine, as well as maps and catalogs of Ukrainian air defense assets, including a calendar of ammunition expenditures. A CIA Operations Center intelligence update marked top secret from March 2nd is also included in the images, although much of the information in these documents had previously been publicly available through media reports. While it has as yet not been possible to uncover the original source of these apparent leaks, it has been possible to trace the spread of the documents over a variety of internet forums in recent months before they were reported by pro-Russian Telegram channels and then major media outlets. And according to people from this Discord server, the intent of these leaks was not to harm the war effort in Ukraine or cause issues for the United States, or cause issues for Ukraine for that matter. It was not a pro-Russia move in terms of intent. Instead, Jack just wanted to show off his access to these documents and show people like, hey guys, look what I got. I got classified military documents without security clearance. Wanna see?
Hey kid, wanna see some CIA docs?
And from there, he would post pictures of them that he took to Discord for people to gawk at. According to someone who knew of these leaks, it was not really a malicious move once again. He described them as nerds wanting to glance over some stuff. At the end of the day, I mean, we're just trying to have a fun time. But obviously, whatever his intentions were, what he was doing was very illegal, and it resulted in these documents ending up in the wrong hands. According to Bellingcat, on April 5th, these docs ended up on some pro-Russian Telegram chats. Now, Telegram is a service you guys may have heard of. It's basically a messaging service that a lot of people use to communicate anonymously or with better encryption than the average messaging app. The only people who have ever made me use Telegram to talk to them are a furry YouTuber and the guy who runs Kiwi Farms, for example. So furries and guys who run controversial internet forums are the types of people that need to use Telegram. A few hours before that, similar documents had been leaked on 4chan. A user on 4chan had posted the first of 8 messages in a thread on the politically correct board, 3 of which had attached images of of seemingly similar but mostly different documents. These 8 messages, some of which can be seen below, were made by the same anonymous users, indicated by the ID being used. In a further post without an image, the same poster argued with another 4chan user about the veracity of the information contained within their posts. There was only one image in common between the Telegram and 4chan posts, a map that showed a number of statistics, including the cumulative number of KIA soldiers on the Russian and Ukrainian sides through the course of the war. Now, Bellingcat goes on to point out that someone had edited these documents on Photoshop or some other, photo editing software to make the Ukrainian losses appear worse than they actually were. Bellingcat then traced these images back to 2 Discord servers, one for Minecraft and one for the YouTuber Wow Mao. This was then linked to another Discord server called the Thugshaker Central. I'm sure you guys know of the Thugshaker meme by now. I'm not going to do a know your meme explanation of what it is, but considering the amount of you pestering me about doing the Thugshaker whenever I live stream, yeah, you all know. Don't pretend.
Don't cap.
But there are no traces of this server today, and it was all wiped prior to the controversy about the leaks, possibly to save face out of concern that someone may find out and people could be in big trouble. The only way anyone knows about it is testimonial from various people claiming to be in it, which itself is dubious because, how funny is it to say that someone was leaking classified documents in a server called Thugshaker Central, right? But a lot of these news outlets seem to think that it could be real, and to be honest, it does seem somewhat plausible, okay? I've heard crazier stuff. The name of the Thugshaker server changed frequently, sometimes to that of a racial slur, and had around 20 active users, making up a tight-knit community. Posts and channel listings show that the server's users were interested in video games, music, Orthodox Christianity, and a fandom for the popular YouTuber Oxide. The server was not especially geopolitical in nature, although its users had a staunchly conservative stance on several issues, members told Bellingcat. Racial slurs and racist memes were widely shared. Bellingcat contacted Discord to ask about the existence of the Thugshaker Central, Wow Mao, and Minecraft Earthmap servers, as well as whether Discord had any knowledge that the top-secret documents were apparently being shared there. Bellingcat also asked the Department of Defense, or DoD, whether the documents shared in the channels were genuine, and if it was aware of the source of the apparent leak. Discord said it was not able to provide comment at this time, and when contacted by Bellingcat, the DoD told Bellingcat in an email that it was actively reviewing the matter and has made a formal referral to the Department of Justice for investigation. Now, this article was posted on April 9th, 2023, and 5 days later, on the 14th, we started getting reports about this Jack individual, supposedly the main perpetrator behind all of these leaks, being arrested. And in the wake of this, a lot of people have cast their own opinions. Some accuse Jack of doing this explicitly to help the Russian army, which is unverified as of now, and I think it's somewhat unlikely, but maybe I'm wrong, who knows. And now it's also become a political thing because Marjorie Taylor Greene said that he's cool for this leak because it paints the Biden administration in a bad light, and now people are saying that she likes him because he posted racist memes or something, which once again is like unverified. We've never seen any of that, so there you go. And on the other side, you have people calling him a true American hero for fighting Biden and whatever else and, destroying the libtards. Now, I don't know what is true. My guess is the explanation about wanting to brag and show off these documents is more accurate than military espionage, right? But obviously, political pundits will run with whatever they think is the most convenient for their side. And the Pentagon, meanwhile, is trying to get Twitter to remove these leaks, which are being spread on Twitter continuously to, I think, this day. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to side with someone who deliberately leaked classified documents. I'm not on their side. I'm pro-USA. For any reason, I think that should be punishable by the fullest extent of the law. You can't allow people to do this and get off the hook with it. You need to make an example out of this kid. What that punishment will be, I have no idea, but he definitely is feeling like he's in a world of shit right now, wherever he's sitting in his cell. And honestly, it's probably what he deserves given the fact that, at least according to some, he leaked classified documents for the purpose of bragging rights on Discord, You, my good sir, have lost the internet for today.
Reddit does not approve.
Well, regardless of what Marjorie Taylor Greene or all of these spurgy journalists think on Twitter, Jack is now in the hands of the FBI, and whatever happens to him as far as his trial is anyone's guess right now. But I bet they'll try to make the case that he's some kind of political dissident who hates the United States and wanted to cause some undue duress to the military through this action. According to the BBC, he could face 15 years in prison. Now, that's the maximum he could face, but I would be shocked if he didn't get at least a few years of incarceration for something this serious, and obviously, he's not going to be allowed in the military anymore. U.S. government officials have confirmed the authenticity of the majority of the documents, which details strategy around the Russian war on Ukraine and other sensitive information about Canada, South Korea, Israel, Egypt, and other countries. Some of the documents include information dated to February, meaning they're quite timely. Teixeira had allegedly been posting these documents as far back as December. Now, as for how the feds found him, well, the feds will always find you. Do not try to get one over on the federal government anywhere, but especially not on the internet, where everything is documented anyway. Every company will comply with the United States. They will comply with subpoenas, so you should not be under any expectation that anything you do online cannot be accessed by the feds at any point in time, especially if anything Edward Snowden has said is to be trusted. Now, apparently this isn't even the first time this has happened. There have been a few other scenarios in which documents have been leaked as well. In fact, fans of the free-to-play combat simulator War Thunder are known for this, specifically for leaking information to win arguments between players. In January, a War Thunder player posted a user manual for an F-16A fighter jet called the Fighting Falcon, a model that had just been added to the game. A day later, someone posted restricted information on the McDonnell Douglas F-15E Striker Eagle fighter jet. Last year, a user posted official documents related to a Chinese anti-tank weapon. Before that, it was the United Kingdom's Challenger 2 battle tank that was leaked, followed by the French Leclerc battle tank. Developer Eagle Dynamics, known for its digital combat simulator games, came under fire in 2019 too, after a Russian employee was charged with conspiracy and smuggling for using the DCS World Forum to get help shipping F-16 manuals out of the US. So these like military games, these military LARPer type communities apparently are also filled with actual military people who are leaking documents here and there for bragging rights. Or in this case of someone who was like a Russian employee, they were literally charged with conspiracy because they were trying to hurt the US government by leaking, fighter jet manuals. As for what's going to come out of this, well, I think a lot more of these military people, if there are any more of them thinking about leaking documents online, will see the news on CNN and think twice about it in the near future. What the punishment for Jack will be is unknown right now. We have to wait for trial on that one. And beyond that, it serves as a funny story about a kid who decided to use the platform most associated with overweight mods, annoying e-girls, traps, and spam for leaking top secret information about the war in Ukraine. The lesson to be learned? Don't do that. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Follow my Instagram, TomButDark. I will see you all next time. Bye.